we will be filing a bipartisan bill that will address many of the concerns that we heard all across the state in 5 different hearings on this issue, as well as at town hall meetings, our meeting with SLED and General Counsel Adam Wissick, and many other interested parties. And so we got a bill that we're going to file today. And in my opinion, the only way we can get something done in the aftermath of the massacre at Mother Emanuel is to work across the aisle to do so. Now, will it have, if this bill was implemented, will it have prevented Dylan Roof from buying a gun? I can't answer that question. But I can tell you one of the problems was the folks at the federal level were confused as to where to research the substance of the crime. And so this effort is to improve reporting, not just by time limitations, but also the substance of what's being reported. In addition, they have 2 now additional days, at least for 2 years, to conduct the background check at the federal level.
This time, a proceed indicates that although the customer's submission did in fact hit in one or more of the databases, the descriptive data was not a valid match to that of the customer, or there was a possible match, but it contained no federal or state prohibiting information. If the customer's submission ends up in a delay status, it means that the hit produced a possible or valid match in one or more databases, and more research will be required to determine if any federal or state prohibitors apply. When a transaction is delayed and a final status decision cannot be rendered within the allotted 3 business day time frame and no other restrictions exist, the FFL is legally permitted to transfer the firearm at their discretion.
And this bill is a very measured bill. The bill that Senator Kempson has been talking about is very measured in the sense that it extends that background check period by a mere 2 days, which is, any time we can get is better, and it's only going to affect that 1% of firearms purchasers that aren't cleared immediately. So it's a very small group of people. The vast majority of the shootings that take place, the gun violence that takes place in South Carolina, it occurs by someone who's already a convicted felon and someone who obtained that gun illegally. This bill is geared toward, we've had a fairly weak law in South Carolina on possession of a gun by an unlawful person. I'll categorize it that way. Our law says that you have to be convicted of a violent crime. This is unique to the rest of the states in the country. Federal law says if you're a convicted felon, you're an unlawful person. Almost every other state in the country says if you're a convicted felon, you're an unlawful person. South Carolina says you have to be a violent offender. It doesn't trigger by felony, it triggers by violent offender. We're out of step with the rest of the country. It makes it very confusing for law enforcement. It makes it hard to enforce.
And we need more uniformity and more promptness in reporting of these cases and things that would prohibit someone from being able to purchase a gun. Because right now it's all over the board. And so if reporting had been done quicker, I think it would have prevented him from being able to get the weapon. The time period in his case really probably wouldn't have made a difference. The error was in the reporting, because they still hadn't figured it out, I think 30, 60 days after he got the weapon.